Welcome to Northeast Colonial News, and this is Samuel Franklin.
And this is Benjamin Adams.
And the fight for equality continues.
According to the Declaration of Independence, all men are created equal. We spoke with the young Virginian today, and she demands respect.
We take you on scene.
This is Jarl here on scene with the young Catherine Jones. How do you feel about not being called Mrs.?
Well, I believe that.
Whoa, cut it, cut. What's this woman doing here? I'm the man of the family. I should be being recorded.
Yeah, leave, woman.
Leave. Sandwiches.
Yes. Here I am on set with Thomas Jones. Where do you stand on women's rights?
What rights?
Well, the ones that we fought for men's. We fought for men's rights, breaking off from Great Britain in the war, and now for the Declaration of Independence, as we are now an independent nation.
I believe that they should not have any rights at all. I think that they should be at home, cooking, cleaning, and taking care of all my children.
What more do they expect?
Exactly. Women.
Welcome to Northeast Colonial News, and I'm Samuel Franklin.
And I'm Benjamin Adams.
And the topic between the rich and poor equality is brought up again.
Let's take you on scene.
Here we are on scene with this poor man from Virginia. So, how do you feel about your social status?
What social status? I have no social status because I don't own this much land. I mean, that shouldn't determine my right to vote. I live in this colony, so I should have the right to at least have somewhat of a say in what goes on here.
Poor man, how do you feel about the wealthy?
I feel as if they're just higher born. I feel as if they just were born into that social status and they didn't even work to get there.
Shoot.
And we're back on scene with this rich man. How do you feel about the low status?
I don't feel for the low status. I don't understand why I hear them complaining when they complain about me owning large amounts of land, but on that land that I do own, there are multiple factories that they do work at. So, in general, I do own all those factories, but I provide them with work, such as this peasant shining my shoes.
So, how do you feel about the poor regarding your highborn?
Well, I don't understand why they use it in a bad way, because I was born into my riches off of hard work. My ancestors worked very hard for generations, and that's why my wealth lasts for centuries. That's why I was born into it. And they don't work half as hard, and maybe you could say that it's unlikely that they weren't high-born, such as me, but at the same time, like I said, I provide them with so much. Even though they're not regarded as Mr. or Mrs., if that's what they want, they still have maybe somewhat enough to provide for their families. But at the end of the day, it's just I am luckier and higher born, and I'm richer. I'm so rich that I can wear 3 shirts.
And then we have it.
Go. And we'll be back after this short commercial break. Is your mother not cleaning up after you anymore? Are you in need of a slave? Get one now. They work happily. They can trim your hedges. As you can see, it's very fine. They can even trow your land. Let's hear from a slave. How do you feel about slavery?
I absolutely hate slavery. I just want to go home to Africa and play with my friends in my tribe.
Call 1-800-SLAVE now and buy a slave for the cheap cost of their freedom. Yeah.
This just in. Continental Congress is calling upon the colonies to draft up some state constitutions.
Just after the Declaration of Independence was approved, Continental Congress began to ask colonies to summon themselves into being new states based on the idea of republicanism. Americans drew their authority from the people rather than from the royal seal of a distant king. With these new state constitutions, they guaranteed long-prized liberties against legislative encroachment. Legislators were given sweeping powers in the new states. This would shortly lead to the relocation of state capitals and discomfort for conservative Americans. As you can see, coming up with these state constitutions was very grueling work.
And we're back. That was quite interesting. I am back with Benjamin Adams. How do you feel about the pursuit for equality?
Well, quite frankly, Samuel, I believe that in the long run, it may lead to the abolishment of slavery. Women might actually get to vote for once. And also, I think we may be able to practice whatever religion we want to.
What do you think that the bloodshed and stuff of that nature was necessary for the liberty of America?
I do believe so, because if there was no one fighting for it, where would we be right now?
Exactly. I believe that a short amount of chaos was good in a short period of time instead of a long period of misery. And that is it for the day. And there we have it. This has been Samuel Franklin.
And Benjamin Adams. And just like Parver, we're gonna ride out.